10 News begins with breaking news.
Firefighters are battling a brush fire that broke out at Camp Pendleton this evening. A 10 News viewer sent us these photos of flames lighting up the hillside. It started in a training area at the south end of the base, grew to 50 acres within the past half hour. North County Fire has a strike team on scene, and it expects to stay overnight for flare-ups. Right now, it's about 20% contained as smoke can be seen throughout the North County. We have a crew headed to the scene. We will bring you updates as we get them this evening. San Diego supervisors say that our county is ready to move further into phase 2 of Governor Newsom's reopening plan. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kimberly Hunt. Local leaders are calling for the freedom to move into phase 3. We're following the reopening moves as part of our Rebound initiative. As 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo shows us, county leaders are discussing how to move forward tomorrow.
The barking spot in Otay Ranch had only been open for 6 weeks when the pandemic hit.
Like 100% of our business had stopped at that point.
The business model was a type of doggy daycare, overnight boarding, and a boutique for small dogs. But to stay afloat, Joe and Victoria Downey have shifted to grooming and curbside pickup for their products.
I think as mom and pop shop, we want to see all the businesses back open and flourishing, of course.
Grooming is allowed as part of Governor Newsom's phase 2 reopening plan. Monday, Newsom announced new criteria for allowing businesses to reopen, easing some of the previous restrictions. San Diego leaders say they meet the criteria and have a plan ready.
That will only work if people still follow those social distancing and all the guidelines to be able to fight through this.
For hairstylists, reopening is still in phase 3, although Monday, Mayor Kevin Faulconer called for the state to give local control for these businesses to open.
I've done full haircuts. I've done a balayage virtually. I send a box to go with it.
Tiffany May is a hairstylist at Glow Hair Studio in Mission Valley, who's been helping clients virtually. While she wants to get back to work, she says many hairstylists are looking for guidance for how to do so.
No one's going to be on the same page. You'll have some salons in full personal protective equipment, and you'll have some salons not doing anything.
And worries that rushing into phase 3 could be a mistake.
And we need time to order these things and have them ready for our guests to feel safe and for ourselves to feel safe.
The county plans on providing more details for reopening, including the phase 3 pilot program on Tuesday during the Board of Supervisors meeting. Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
New at 11, 2 people are behind bars tonight facing federal charges in a cross-border kidnap plot. 20-year-old Leslie Matla and 25-year-old Juan Carlos Montoya Sanchez were recently arrested in San Diego. They're each charged with 1 count of money laundering and conspiracy. Court documents claim they kidnapped 3 men from Southern California in Mexico, including 1 man from San Diego, and collected ransom money from family members. 2 of the victims were murdered. The other was rescued. The San Diego victim's body was found in late March. If convicted, Matla and Sanchez face up to life in prison. Navy investigators are looking for witnesses to a hit and run that killed a sailor near Naval Base San Diego. It happened on East Harbor Drive near 32nd Street on May 2nd. Criminal investigators are still searching for the driver of a non-commercial vehicle who was near the pedestrian footbridge about 4:30 a.m. The vehicle may have front-end damage. Anyone with information is asked to call NCIS. Here is a look at the latest coronavirus numbers in San Diego County. 110 new cases were reported today, bringing our total to 5,946. The county also reported 2 additional deaths, raising the toll to 211. All 50 states are officially easing restrictions this week as Americans are eager to return to normal. But as more than 90,000 Americans have now lost their lives to COVID-19, many people are fearful of the risks until there is a vaccine. ABC's Romina Puga reports on the promising effort to develop one.
As he pushes for America's reopening, President Trump making a surprise statement Monday.
I'm taking it, hydroxychloroquine. Right now, yeah. couple of weeks ago, I started taking it because I think it's good. I've heard a lot of good stories.
In response to an unrelated question, the president announcing he'd been taking the unproven anti-malaria drug along with zinc. He said he asked the White House doctor if he could take it, even though he says he does not have the virus or any symptoms. Just last month, the FDA warned against using the drug for COVID-19 outside of hospitals or clinical trials because it could cause heart problems.
According to the FDA, hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine have not been shown to be safe and effective for treating or preventing COVID-19.
This as American biotech company Moderna, working on a vaccine, says all 45 of their test patients are producing antibodies that fight the disease. Norman Hulme of Atlanta receiving his second dose.
It's been like almost nothing. It's literally, it's been like getting a flu shot.
The company tested the blood of 8 of those participants against the actual coronavirus, and in all 8 cases mounted an immune response against the virus. Also on Monday, more than 130,000 auto workers were back on the job for the first time in 8 weeks. The big 3 car makers restarting production.
Life is risk. I think this is a minor one. I'm willing to take it to put food on the table.
While other businesses defy state orders telling them to stay closed. A New Jersey gym determined to open its doors.
Social distancing rules in place, temperatures taken at the door.
Police put owners on notice, but no order to shut down. By Wednesday, all 50 states will have eased restrictions. Cases are still rising in at least 10 states, but at a plateau in at least 24 states. In Colorado, Romina Puga, ABC News.
Experimental treatments have been helping save lives in COVID-19 patients. One study from the Mayo Clinic finds transfusions of recovered patients' plasma into sick patients is helping. Meantime, some scientists believe more than a dozen sailors aboard the San Diego-based ship, the USS Theodore Roosevelt, tested positive again because they may not have had a lot of antibodies. They say it's also possible they still had remnants of the dead virus. And China's handling of the coronavirus is expected to be the focus of the World Health Assembly. This is the first time the WHO is meeting virtually with world leaders since the pandemic started. President Trump accused the organization and China of covering up the seriousness of the outbreak and, as a result, froze U.S. funding. China's president has pledged an additional $2 billion in funding to the WHO and supported a resolution for an independent investigation into the handling of the coronavirus by the WHO. And now to an alarming example of how criminals are taking advantage during the pandemic. Escondido police tell us they just busted this man, 22-year-old Timothy Alvarado, after a 2-week crime spree around the city. It included stealing at least 3 cars, one of them twice in the very same week. He also is accused of leading police on a high-speed chase and then resisting arrest. But because of the state's zero bail policy, because of coronavirus, he was cited and released each time. Those are state recommendations. Now he's behind bars at last, this time for attempted murder for allegedly stabbing a homeless man. And the San Diego Unified School District says it is joining the largest districts in the state to warn Governor Newsom that it would not be safe to open this fall if funding is cut for schools. In a letter to state lawmakers, the districts say cuts will delay their ability to open schools for a safe learning environment. The districts propose some plans to increase funding, including a statewide utility surcharge, allocating funding from the state's budget stabilization account, and allowing for local discretion in the use of federal funds.
I've kind of been living by the mantra that, we can do hard things. Anybody can. You, me, anyone.
They have fed close to 4,000 frontline workers while helping restaurants hit hard by the pandemic. It's a story that's positively San Diego. 10 News reporter Anthony Pura spoke with a business owner who says it's a lifeline during these trying times.
It's a challenging time for Blue Box Bagels and Brew in Sorrento Valley. Their customer base all but disappeared during the pandemic. But in April, a call came in for 240 bagels and 10 boxes of coffee. Owner Jerry Liu called it a morale booster.
That order came in just at the right time because, like I said, we just missed rent and it was just enough to cover that payroll for that week.
That order came from Krista Gallego.
I'm a helper. I'm one of those people that if you tell me you need something, I'm going to do it.
Gallego founded Flag San Diego. It stands for Frontline Appreciation Group. They raise money through crowdfunding and grants, then order meals in bulk from restaurants to be sent to those working long hours to fight the spread of COVID-19. Lou's Bagels and Coffee went to healthcare workers. Flag started in New Jersey but quickly gained chapters around the U.S. In San Diego, Gallego says they've raised more than $23,000 since starting last month. It's translated to roughly 3,700 meals and counting.
Last week, we really focused on nurses for National Nurses Appreciation Week. Started on May Day with a delivery of 600 meals to the VA hospital. And we kind of just kept going from there.
On Monday, they dropped off meals to San Diego Police Headquarters. This week, they will be feeding officers across the county. Next week, it will be lifeguards.
We want to get out to grocery store workers, delivery guys. We've been trying to get to truckers.
Gallego says there are nearly 80 restaurants that have signed on to participate.
Keeping these big orders with them, like 600 meals at a time, is valuable.
As for Blue Box Bagels and Brew, that first large order was followed up with a second, even larger one. The owner saying it was gratifying on all levels.
So it felt really rewarding in a way that we were able to kind of contribute to show our appreciation for everything that they do by risking their health every day.
Anthony Pura, 10 News.
If you'd like to donate, there will be a link on our webpage, 10news.com.